Hey guys, so I wanted to do this video, or this audio more like, just because I've told you guys a lot that as far as this journey and as far as everything I'm doing here, I want to show all aspects of it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about this because I don't really want to put a damper on anybody. If you guys are new to the channel, this series of videos is very exploratory in nature, and it's more speculative, and it's about things that are happening to me right now, and I make these videos to document the process for my research. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and continue now, but yeah, there might be some context you don't understand. There's a whole playlist on the channel if you are interested. But anyways, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about this just because I think it's hard enough for people to do stuff in the winter. I don't want to bring anybody down, but at the same time, I have to document how I really am feeling, and I would consider myself to be really in the trenches right now. I'm going to try my best not to cough. As you guys can tell, I've been very, very, very sick. Not deathly ill or anything, definitely a cold or a flu, something like a virus, but it's pretty it's pretty ass, I think, because it's really hard to get better when it's freezing, and I'm at a really difficult point right now where my metabolism has sped up so drastically that I'm experiencing weight loss symptoms and things that I was having happen to me, towards September and October, which is when it's still really warm and kind of summery here in the South. And so for me to have that kind of effect, and it's still January, that is pretty crazy. My metabolism is drastically faster than it was a year ago. That's partly why I decided to just dive into weight loss, because I didn't think I could stop it. And that is a weird thing to say, especially in terms of I guess how people view weight loss. A lot of people view weight loss as impossible rather than inevitable, but I'm going into my third year off of seed oil consumption and into this this thyroid metabolic protocol, and it's having huge effects, almost 3 years down the line. It'll be 3 years in March. And I am in a completely different physical context than I was 3 years ago. It's kind of insane, because I was so deathly ill 3 years ago, and it's I am not even close to that anymore. But then it's weird to still be super morbidly obese, although just barely, because I have all these symptoms and issues with losing weight. I have my swelling. I feel serotonin-y, which I told you guys, I feel super agitated. And I get tingles in my hands and feet because my wrists and ankles are swelling, and it gives me a carpal tunnel feeling I talked to you guys about back in June. I had a lot of people in my life speculate that I was having these symptoms because of diabetes or whatever, because I was eating sugar, but I'm not eating sugar, and I still have the exact same symptoms because I knew it had nothing to do with that. But anyways, that's me being a little sassy right now. But it's just, it's verifiable now. I couldn't stay off of sugar until after I got through that horrific serotonin storm of the past year, or that process in my brain where I don't feel like I want to, you know, die, or I'm just so depressed. I just can't even go on if I don't have sugar. Like, I don't feel that way anymore. So, but that being said, I feel a lot of horrible things, and I want to talk about the horribleness. So essentially, because I'm in a state where my metabolism is so much faster, I'm really suffering through the horrific effects of winter on hypothyroidism as well as summer at the same time, which is really awful. And I do just have to clarify that regardless, it's still much better than my previous, near death or dying context of 3 years ago. Like, I know that that's kind of obvious and can go without saying, but I just want to be explicitly clear. It's still so much better than that. But that doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean when I decided to just dive into weight loss that this was going to be an easy thing for me to do. And I particularly knew that February was going to be a pivotal moment this year because I tried to count calories last year in January and I couldn't make it. I stopped in late January. I think I've already made it past how far I made it last year. And it was very frustrating because I had gained a little bit of weight over the winter, the solstice time of 22. And then I lost it in January of 22, or 23, I'm sorry. But then I gained it all back in February of 23. And so I'm a little bit concerned for that to happen. A similar thing is happening this year where I gained a lot of weight this past winter solstice. It was kind of insane. Overall, I was 30 pounds heavier, basically, by the end all be all. By the 26th of December, I was 30 pounds heavier, which is insane. But now, it hasn't even been a full month of counting calories. I started on the 1st of January, and I am really within like 4 pounds of where I was in late October. Basically where I was. I did get to 299 on October 25th. That was my absolute lowest. But I always say I had to do a ceremony. Like, I literally cut my hair that day. I fasted. I did everything. But it was because for my identity issues I was having at the time, I needed to see the number just so I could start processing it. So it was more about the actual seeing of the number, so that doesn't scare me. And at this point, it doesn't scare me at all because I'm used to it now. So sometimes you just got to play stupid games with yourself like that if you're dealing with psychological bullshit in terms of weight loss. But, I was really more like 303. So I'm about 307 now, which is insane. This winter solstice, it was quite a powerful thing for me. And like I said, because my metabolism is really fast now, I can't stop losing weight. And so no matter what, I'm going to feel these effects. And so I think it's really like twofold. It's the fact that I'm not eating sugar and the fact that my metabolism's faster. I'm having similar effects to summer. I'm having dark urine. I'm having, I'll have acidic urine and acidic sweat. My armpit rash is back with a vengeance. I have the tingling in hands and feet sometimes. I get agitated. I've had weird dreams, which these are all very like serotonin-y things that occur that I have dealt with. with my serotonin really shifting drastically through weight loss. And I felt all of them this month very strongly. Luckily, I didn't have any like too weird of a moment, because it's very it's weird when you have like disturbing nightmares and stuff, you know, like that's weird. Like one night, I guess I can tell you guys this one. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's really bizarre. One of my serotonin-y dreams one night was that I dreamt of myself as like a 12 or 13-year-old girl, and I was kidnapped by like Britney Spears and her henchmen. I know that that's really weird, and it was like a weird reversal kind of Britney situation. But I mean, she wasn't kidnapped, but she was in that, gosh, I cannot think of the word right now, conservatorship. But in my dream, it's like I was kidnapped, you know, and I was like, it was terrifying, and I was like screaming, and they were like tormenting. It was like me and a group of other girls, and we were all being tormented. And it's like, that's really hard to like have that as a dream. And it's like, okay, you know, and I'm talking like kind of weird, that levels of dreams. And sometimes, you know, not to be too sharing of anything, but kind of having some dreams with the sexual context that is kind of weird. You know, not like anything super crazy or anything, but just weird. Very, very odd. And something that is kind of, I don't know, it's just not, it just is weird. So, you know, and I already told you guys about my weird cockroach dream where I dreamt that a cockroach was on my forehead and then I slapped myself awake in real life. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm dealing with. And that type of thing, it kind of drives you insane, you know, and it doesn't happen every night. But all these serotonin symptoms, it's like I have restless hands, or, you know, restless arms, restless legs. I have insomnia. I have diarrhea. I have all these things. They were all things that I was going through in the summer when at the height of my weight loss. I'm currently going through them in winter. So all that's going on top of all the stuff with winter. So let's get into that. So my skin is so incredibly dry. It doesn't matter how many times I put lotion on, it stays dry. I cannot, my hand literally split open, and I had like a nasty like cut kind of on my finger, because my finger split open because it was so dry. My lips right now, you might be able to see in the thumbnail, but my lips are basically a complete scab because I'm trying so hard. It's like I try to drink water, I try to hydrate, I try to put lotions and balms and everything. It doesn't matter because I'm still too hypo for my skin to be hydrated. It's just not going to be. And that is really irritating. It's like I can literally look at my hands right now and it's peeling skin in between my fingers. At the same time, I have to wash my hands all the time because, as you can see, I'm sick. We'll get into that last. The other stuff with the winter is just very low energy, you know, extremely low energy, very low motivation. It's very difficult to work. I try to push myself. I try to just tell myself to keep going. It's very, very hard. I will say I have not been as depressed as I thought I would be. It's not really as bad as I thought it would be, but I still do get that way. But I wouldn't know how to classify that in terms of winter or summer, but it's kind of more of a summer thing, actually, to be more depressed for me because of the fat burning, because it's that serotonin aspect. But yeah, it's like I have all that going on, the air is so dry everywhere. It's dry in my car, it's dry where I work, it's dry at home. I feel like I cannot get warm. I'm so hypo. I've been having heart palpitations occasionally from hypo symptoms. I've had shortness of breath issues from being severely hypo due to the winter and due to the weight loss. I mean, it's a lot. It's difficult. And it's just barely touching into these things, but it's like I was just getting away from it and now it's back. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. And my hair is a disaster. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's just crazy. I don't know. It looks horrible. I think it's probably dry and then it's thin and it's just horrible. I don't really have migraines as often, but I have diarrhea a lot. So I know that that's weird to just throw that out there. Luckily I haven't had any Ozempic level accidents or anything. I promise you guys I'm doing this naturally. I don't know who that matters to, but I am, trust. But yeah, I don't have any levels like that. I used to, which is really scarring. I used to though. Yeah, the only new thing that I get now is now that I don't have sugar, if I don't have any starch, so if I don't have any potatoes at all in the winter, I get severe, not severe, but my hypoventilation returns, likely due to a low blood sugar. Isn't that crazy? So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious that the sugar was definitely helping me. I've really seen it. But it is slowing down the weight loss, and I will say my teeth have definitely benefited from not having sugar. So that's one benefit of the sugar, or two, I guess, is probably an uptick in weight loss for sure. And excuse me. And my teeth are better for sure. I feel like I look younger as well, so I do think, I'm likely getting much more nutrition and that kind of stuff, but I think that will take longer to show those results of no sugar. That's probably going to be 6 months, but I'm not really doing this just for it's literally just for calorie reasons, but for anybody who's interested in that, I'm not having sugar while I'm losing weight this year. For those reasons I stated. I'm trying to think of any other winter thing. Oh, just it puts me in a difficult financial situation, for example, because I wasn't able to work for a week because we had ice rain / quote unquote snow, which was just packed ice on the streets, and the South isn't built for that. So I kind of had to just take a huge L. And it was really cold here. And like I said, I can't get warm. And I think somewhere during that week where it was very, very, very cold, I was exhausted. I was swollen. I had moon face really bad. All the stuff was coming back pretty strong. And I held strong on my diet and my deficit and everything, but I did end up getting sick. And I think it's because I could not stay warm. And so I've noticed in the past, I have struggled with getting sick after quitting sugar. So I do wonder if that's why, because it has happened every time I don't eat sugar, I end up getting sick. The last time I did that, No, maybe I didn't do it that time. I don't know. It's confusing. I don't get sick that often, but I did now, which doesn't really surprise me. I think my body's kind of taxed, with all this going on. But I tried to use sickness as much as I could. I tend to meditate a lot in fevers. I feel like it can bring you closer to God and answers. And, I really reflected a lot on my my past relationship and just certain things. And I feel like I came to some answers and some conclusions. And I'm kind of in a process of decoupling that whole breakup from my self-esteem, I guess, because I'm realizing that it wasn't me. I wasn't really the problem. And, I had a lot of issues, don't get me wrong, but I don't think those issues are what led to it ending. I feel like I had more clarity on my end, upon looking back at it, I can see why it really ended. And it's not like I wasn't good enough or something. It was something else, which I don't need to get into, but I'm just saying that process is occurring. And so, I don't know, I tend to suggest that, like, if you guys get sick, try to meditate in it, because you can reach some conclusions. The first night of fever, I felt like I had all these internal anxieties and they were all saying different things to me. And the second night of fever, I had extreme clarity and I could understand finally and start to decouple from my self-esteem. The other thing that occurred during this illness, because I lost my voice too, so I couldn't film. I couldn't talk on the phone to anybody. I had to be, as a Swiftie would say, in my folklore era for a second. I'm just kidding. But, I had to be isolated for a while. And I looked at my journals from high school and stuff, and I was seeing how I had the same problems then that I do now. And it's just kind of devastating, and I see how I was then, and I was like so insecure. I don't want to start crying, but it's just like really sad. I don't know. And I'm just like, oh God, like I just wish I knew, but all I can do is just make sure that other people know, and then it will be worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wish I knew I was hypo back then. I really do. I really wish I knew. I had like this ancient blog that I wrote in a lot. It's totally private because I use people's real names and everything. I could never make that public. But I was reading it back in like 2011 and 10. And it's like, I was talking about how I was so tired. And I was talking about how like I was desperate for just, oh gosh, it was sad. I kind of want to read you guys one of the excerpts. I don't know why. I hope I'm not oversharing, but whatever. This is my complaining moment, and I feel like I need to update you guys. So I found this. This was apparently from one of my journals back in 2010. But listen to this. Quote, I'm desperate. I'm desperate all the time, either scrounging for socialization or money or grades or time. I'm always scrounging for freedom and I'll never find it. I'm tired of scrounging, and that's why I try to relax all the time, because I am just plain naked tired. I'm tired. I swear to you that I am. I'm so tired. No matter if I sleep or rest, I'm exhausted. I'm tired of being tired. I'm always uncomfortable. I try to eat for energy. I try to drink, to sleep, everything, even relax for hours and hours, and still I'm exhausted. Yeah, it sounds like hypothyroidism to me. And my doctor sucked ass at the time. Their testing is trash. I don't even know if they're as educated about hypothyroidism as they think they are, because I think it was not diagnosed very much. and I definitely had BED. Of course, I'm reading journal entries about how I'm eating so much. I feel like I'm gonna throw up, and I can't get control of myself. And I mean, it was really disturbing. I don't know why I was doing that to myself, but I was reading it, you know. Let me see if I can find one right now. Jeez. It was bad. Yeah, here's one. This is from January 26th. Oh, almost 14 years ago. Holy shit. January 26th, 2010. I don't know why I can't do it. I can't keep any promises to myself. I've broken my homework vow, and now I sit with an overstuffed stomach. I've been starting over every day, and it hurts my bones to exercise. I feel like I'll never feel better about myself. I have been very foolish today in many ways, and it has been so stupid. Yeah. So anyways, this is kind of stuff I'm looking at. It's kind of disturbing. But I had just like this morbid curiosity for some reason. And this is the stuff I was looking at. And it was like, oh my gosh. And then I was just reading how like in high school, it's like I had issues with everybody in my life. I was like, geez, like I felt like there was constant like tension and drama, and just like I'm fighting with this person low key, but it's like kind of that teenage girl vibe fighting where it's like you're angry about something but you don't really say it, but like you're like, oh my gosh, you know, and you talk to your friends about it kind of thing. But it's like I was doing that with like everybody in my life, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is just ridiculous, you know? It's just kind of sad. And I don't know, it's just weird to like, you know, there's a lot of good stuff too. Like I was always with my friends. I was always doing stuff. Like I was very busy. I was always going out to movies and the mall, and, you know, just I was totally fine in a lot of ways. But there were still those darker moments. And it was just like, gosh, you know, I don't know. I guess it just led to a lot of reflection during this illness. And I've come really far, and I just feel this is, wow, I'm really just putting it all out there. But there are a lot of times in this weight loss journey where I feel very despondent. And I don't know if that's just the state of the world. It could be, you know, I think a lot of people feel incredibly hopeless right now. I try not to let that affect me that much, just because, like, I don't always know what is the world and what is my health, you know, because I can't really separate it. All I do know is that I hear from a lot of people that they're very depressed, that their life is not what they thought it would be, that they haven't accomplished what they thought they were going to accomplish, you know, especially like what people wanted to do back in 2019, for example. And it's just like, I feel the same way, and I feel so despondent sometimes where I'm just like, I don't even know if I can have a dream anymore, because I look at all these dreams I had as a teenager and they all fell apart. Like every single fucking one of them. And it's like, how am I supposed to move forward? You know, I fought to hell to be able to live my life, to survive this illness. And it's like, what a horrific thing to think, well, what do I even want to live for? Anyways. And I feel horrible for saying that, but I feel that way sometimes, because it's like, I don't have any like financial freedom or anything. I am like, oh God, it is just horrible. It's horrible. There's no upward mobility. Everything is so expensive. I can't catch a breath. I haven't caught a breath in like 3 years financially. I think I was okay until June of 21. And then from then on, it's just been hellish. And it got a little bit better last year. But it didn't get better enough, if that makes any sense, if you guys can relate to that. Instead of not being able to make it, you can barely make it with, nothing else. And it's still hard. It's hard because I am still ill, and any little thing can set me off. Like if the earth decides to put ice, 3 or 4 inches of ice all over the street, I have to take the L. If I get really sick, I have to take the L. I'm obviously not going to be able to work as well if I'm really sick. It's just tough. And I think where I'm at right now is it's a complete like pressure makes diamonds moment, where I feel like God himself is just telling me or asking me or showing me, you want to lose this weight because you will lose the weight for no benefit in the moment, no clout, nothing, no relief. Because I'm not in a situation where I desperately have to lose weight right now or I'm going to die tomorrow like I was. I wasn't going to die tomorrow, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not in that type of situation. So it's like I have to get this extreme intrinsic motivation, because it's like I couldn't even post. I couldn't even talk. I can barely talk now. It's like there's no online, no friends to talk to, no support in that sense, no financial security, nothing, no feel-good feelings. I feel like trash physically for all the reasons I told you guys. And I think the overall point is to show myself and to prove to myself, or I would say God is showing me, or whatever, that I'm doing this for intrinsic purposes. My romantic life, trash, horrible. I have zero benefit from losing the weight I have. Nothing. But that's what I'm going to say to you guys to end this. If at the end of the day, if you want to lose the weight, it has to be intrinsic motivation. It's the only thing that will get you through these times. That and a physical backup. So you have to take care of your physical health and get to this point where it's physically possible. But physically possible and having the will to do it are two different things. And I'm really seeing that right now because I'm developing the will. And I have a sort of stubbornness this year. And I'm just like, it's inevitable. That's my mindset. It's inevitable. I can't do anything about it. It's just going to happen. I'd have to fight it to stop it. And I'm not doing that. I'm never fucking doing that again. I'm just not. So it's happening because I honestly think it would take more effort for me to stop losing weight than to just lose it now. And I don't have any desire not to. But I think this moment is just like, is showing me I have a desire to do it. Because I don't have any plans, any dreams, anything to look forward to after my weight loss. I have nothing. And that's like, holy crap. Like, what am I going to do when this major goal is over? And it's like, I guess I better start thinking about it, But anyways, you guys, I'm sorry if that was like too dark or whatever, but I'm trying to just be real and I'm trying to just share the trenches. And anybody on a weight loss journey is going to have moments like this where you're alone and you have to have the motivation yourself. It's just a part of it. And I do. So I've stayed completely on track, not even a hiccup. No sugar, completely on point with the deficit since the first. I do think February is a little difficult, but we should see. I'll see how it goes. I haven't been hungry so far. That's the major thing. I will say getting sick, I guess it kind of did suppress my appetite a bit. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I just wanted to update you guys because I felt like I don't know. I don't want you guys to think I gave up or whatever. I know that that's extra, but I'm just really sensitive right now. So just, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.